Hey y'all, I'm Tracy. Welcome to Just Dig It Farms. Jean and I took a little traveling boots road trip this past weekend and interviewed two wonderful ladies for my season 2 of In Her Boots series. We left home about 5 a.m. on Friday morning and we were headed for our first stop of our traveling boots weekend. Hey y'all, we are traveling boots today. Jean's my traveling partner, and we are on our way to interview Wanda at Deep South Homestead, and she has her own channel, Crazy Days. And I don't know if Danny's going to be there. We're not for sure if he's going to be there or not, but we're almost there, really. We're not far out. We'll be there. When we finish the interview with her, then we are driving to Arkansas this evening, and we'll be in Arkansas tomorrow and hanging out with Nate and Jill at Whispering Willow. So we are on the road for the whole weekend and
on the road again. I'm so glad I'm on the road again. Me and Tracy doing the inner boots. We can't wait to get in the hotel room.
oh gosh. We arrived at Danny and Wanda's house, Deep South Homestead. It was such a treat. It was awesome. Wanda gave us a fabulous tour around the whole homestead, and I'm telling you what, y'all, Deep South Homestead is awesome. They have so many systems in place, and I mean, it is just amazing. And Danny is a master carpenter, and I'm telling you, every single thing built on that homestead is just to perfection. It is really awesome, very functional, a lot of permaculture principles in place. But it was really great. It is a beautiful homestead. They have a lot of wonderful things in place. They have an awesome channel, and they are just a very precious couple. When we got back to her house from the tour, she had a spread cooked for us. Like, we were not expecting a meal, and she had chicken, which was one of their chickens. She had rice with peppers and onions in it. She had rutabagas. Oh my gosh, she had some cornbread, and it was delicious cornbread. She just had a spread for us. It was so good. It was so delicious. And Danny was there when we got there. So we got to sit down and have lunch with Danny and Wanda and talk to them and just get to know them. And they are just such a sweet couple. We have fallen in love with Danny and Wanda. They are absolutely fabulous people. After lunch, Wanda and I retired to her porch with coffee in hand, and we had a wonderful chat together for our season 2 of In Her Boots. Now, while Wanda and I were having our chat, Danny and Jean were chatting too, and it was just an amazing visit. We had a wonderful visit. So after we finished my interview with her, Wanda did an interview with me for her channel. So they have their channel, Deep South Homestead, and then she has a channel of her own called Crazy Days. It's such a neat channel. And I did not realize this, but she kind of does the same thing as I'm doing with my In Her Boots. She does conversations with friends, where she has good conversations with different friends of hers, different people that come to their homestead. And she's got, I did not know that she was doing this until I reached out to her to interview with her. And I was like, okay, I wanted to dive in a little bit deeper, get to know her a little bit deeper, and I realized she had her own channel called Crazy Days. So I started watching some of her interviews, and it was wonderful. It's just really cool that we're both kind of doing the same thing, and we didn't even know each other were doing it. So it's very, very, very neat. So after my interview with her, she said turnabout is fair play, and she interviewed me for her YouTube channel, Crazy Days, for conversations with friends, and she posted that this past Monday. I will put a link to her video in the description of my video so that you can go watch that interview, and y'all go check out their channels. If you're not already following Deep South Homestead or Crazy Days, y'all go check out their channel. They're wonderful people, and they have a very encouraging, inspiring, and educating channel that I think a lot of you would really love. So y'all go check them out. I'll put links in the video description to both of their channels and to my interview with Wanda for Crazy Days. So Jean and I had planned to be leaving Deep South Homestead by around noonish or so that we could hit the road and get to Arkansas. Well, we ended up staying pretty late. I think it was around 3 or so before we ever left Deep South Homestead. We left Danny and Wanda around 3 or 3:30ish, but we had full stomachs and a lot of inspiration and encouragement and ideas that we want to bring back to our farm. Our drive was from Mississippi to Arkansas.
Talking about Applebee's on a date night.
We just had dinner at Applebee's, and we are still in Mississippi, right?
MISSI.
We are on our way to Arkansas. It's going to be, what, like 10:30 before we get there?
Yeah.
Got a ways to go. It was around 10:30 or 11ish or so when we arrived at our hotel that night in Arkansas, and we checked in and hit the bed. We were exhausted, but super excited for our next day. So the next morning we slept a little bit later than we usually do, but we got up, had our coffee, had breakfast, just a little chill time. I did some work on the computer, and we just kind of chilled a little bit. And then we left and headed to Whispering Willow Farm, and we arrived there around noon. Now, if you guys are not following Jill and Nathan at Whispering Willow Farms, you have to go check them out. I have been following Jill for probably 3 years or so now, and she was one of the ones that really inspired me to do my own YouTube channel. Jean and I met Nathan and Jill at a HOA conference about 2 years ago. At dinner, we were at a dinner that Hoss Tools had for all of the affiliates that they had that were at that conference. We had a dinner together, and it was wonderful. We met some beautiful people and some wonderful friends at that dinner. I am so thankful to this day for Greg and Sheila having that dinner for all of us together. That's where we met Cattywampus Acres, Jason and Lauren. That's where we met Wes and Angie with Big Family Small Farm. We got to meet Greg and Sheila, 4 Kids in a Farm, Crowley House, Beth and her husband, and I don't know, we met so many wonderful people that we've developed relationships with from that dinner. And Jill and Nathan were there, and we got into a conversation with them after the dinner. Jill and I have a whole lot in common. She is about 20 years younger than me, but other than that, we have a lot in common. And Nathan and Jean has a lot in common. They both kind of worked in the same industry. They have a whole lot in common. So we just kind of hit it off. So I knew when I started this In Her Boots series, Jill was someone that I definitely wanted to try to interview. She is such a beautiful person, not just on the exterior, but on the interior. She has a true heart for people. She has a true heart for community and her family. And she's very, very smart, and she's just such a beautiful person. Her and Nathan have a lot of things going on. They have their farm, they have a flower farm, they're doing CSA farming this year. She wrote a published book called Tiny But Mighty Farm. Excellent book. I definitely suggest it for any of you who are dreaming of starting your own farm. They have an online store, an online business. She has different courses that she does. Of course, they have a YouTube channel. They're on Instagram, they're on Facebook. They have a whole lot going on. So I knew that she's super, super busy, and I wasn't sure if she was going to be able to talk to me for the interview. But when I reached out to her, she was like, sure, come on. Because when Jill says that their heart is community, she means that their heart is community. And she is all about helping inspire and encourage and building people and helping people and developing relationships. what I've taken from Jill, the little bit that I've got to have a conversation with her, is her main heart is she wants to be your cheerleader. She wants to let you know that you can do whatever you're dreaming of doing, that you can do it, that you're worthy, that it's possible. She wants to be your cheerleader, and she portrays that on her channel, and it's genuine. When you talk to her, she told me that people ask her all the time, are you really this bubbly? Are you really this happy? Are you really this encouraging? What are you like when the camera's not on? She really is bubbly. She really is happy. She really is encouraging, and she really is a genuine person. So if you're not following Whispering Willow Farm, please go check her out on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Check out her book, Tiny But Mighty Farm. We absolutely love them, and they are wonderful, wonderful people. So y'all go check them out. When we got to their home, they had a spread going on their beautiful farm table, a charcuterie board, and it was fabulous. They had all kinds of delicious things on that board. It was beautiful. We sat, we ate, we chatted, we talked. We just had a wonderful time eating and fellowshipping and talking with their girls. They have the cutest girls, and it was a wonderful time. Now, the day before, Nathan had got their farm truck stuck. They're getting a new hoop house installed at their house, and they had to do some dirt work and some land work, and it's been raining a lot, so it was just a muddy mess out there where his farm truck was. And he was trying to get it out to go get feed, and he got it stuck the day before. He couldn't get it unstuck. And I was like, oh, well, that's why we came here. That's right up Jean's alley. A little mud, a little truck, a little fun. So while Jill and I were inside doing our interview together and our chat together, which you do not want to miss that. That was a very good interview, a very good conversation. While Jill and I were inside her house doing our interview, Jean and Nathan were outside getting the truck unstuck. They were having a good time. After our interview, Jill and I walked outside, and she gave us a tour of the farm and the hoop houses and everything that they have going, the animals, everything that they have going on there. After our tour, we came back inside, and Nathan started cooking us dinner. We were not expecting all of this hospitality from either one of them.
This is the Whispering Willow charcuterie board.
It was full.
You notice where I'm sitting?
Yeah.
In a good spot.
And what you got going on in here?
I am
Ooh, look at these tulips.
creating a vegetable medley.
Yum.
So put my onions on, let them saute in some good olive oil for a little while, and then I'll put all the
Veg in there.
put all the other veggies on there.
Sounds good. I love vegetables.
Me too.
Culinary
That's,
artist.
I
Are
don't
you?
know about that. I like to eat, and so I like to experiment.
So you like to
I
experiment.
think you said
Awesome.
you start a YouTube channel.
No.
Hey, a
Cast
culinary
iron
channel.
cooking with Nate.
It was steak, and he did a vegetable medley and some acorn squash and butternut squash and pureed. It was so good. I mean, it was just a delicious, delicious meal. And of course, Jill made us a cup of her amazing coffee. That is, I've had a lot of coffee, and that's the best cup of coffee I've ever had. It was so good. They have their own coffee, and it was so good. You can find that coffee on their online store. I'll put a link to their website in the description of this video as well. But seriously, guys, that was the best cup of coffee I think I've ever had before. It was so good. We had a delicious dinner together, and we ended up staying there till like 9 o'clock that night. I did not mean for us to stay that long, but we stayed till 9 o'clock that night, and we had wonderful conversation together. We talked about God. We talked about our dreams. We talked about our goals. We had a wonderful conversation together. And I'm so very grateful and thankful because I know how super busy they are. And to take pretty much a whole day with us, that's a big deal when you're really, really busy. And I'm just so grateful that they took that time with us. I'm thankful for Wanda's and Danny's time, and I'm thankful for Jill and Nathan's time. And Jean and I just really had a good weekend together. And Sunday morning we got up, packed up, and headed back to Alabama. It was a wonderful traveling boots road trip with Jean. We had a great, great time. For any of you who may be new to our channel, or you have no idea what I'm talking about in her boots, last year I started a new series on our channel here called In Her Boots. It was completely a God-inspired idea. God gave me this whole idea within 30 minutes of my prayer time to go and do interviews of different lady farmers or homesteaders and just talk about the things that they go through, talk about their life, talk about what they do, talk about how they manage it all. And within 30 minutes of my prayer time that morning, I had the whole vision of what to do and how to do it, and actually who all I wanted to interview. So I just jumped on it and started it. I called a list of about 12 ladies that I had in mind, lined up interviews, and just did it. It turned out to be so much more than what I ever had expected. I interviewed so many wonderful ladies. There's a playlist on our channel here called In Her Boots, and you can go and see all of those interviews. There's 11 of them that I did last year. So I interviewed so many wonderful ladies who just have amazing stories. And there were so many more ladies that I wanted to interview that I decided to do a season 2 of In Her Boots. So for season 2, I have a list of ladies who have committed to let me come and interview them for an episode of In Her Boots. And I'm spending spring and summer and going and interviewing these ladies. And season 2 of In Her Boots will come out in the fall this year. Also last year, Jacqueline from Head Family Farm went with me to interview Lauren at Cattywampus Acres. We had a wonderful weekend together, all three of us. It was just a great weekend. And Jacqueline and I kind of come up with this thing called Traveling Boots, and it's the travels to interview for the In Her Boots series. So it was just fun. We did a fun episode on that, and I just thought, you know what, I'm gonna try to carry that on through this year. So I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of footage of the trip, of the travels, to interview each one of these ladies and see their homestead. So I'm just gonna give you a few little clips of the travel. If you have not subscribed, y'all go ahead and subscribe to our channel so that when the In Her Boots comes out, you will be notified and you will know about it. We've got some amazing people that we're gonna be interviewing this year, and I don't want you to miss any of them. Now, one other thing real quick, this is our In Her Boots logo that Jacqueline made for me. And we've got some merchandise on our merch store of this with this In Her Boots logo. We've got coffee cups and stickers and shirts and sweatshirts and aprons and all kinds of things with this logo on it. And if you want to purchase anything with this In Her Boots logo, the money that we make off of that purchase will go toward the travels for us to be able to get to go and interview these ladies. Now also, if you make that contribution and buy some piece of merchandise with the In Her Boots logo on it, send us a picture of you. You can email us at justdigitfarms@gmail.com. Send me a picture of you wearing your merchandise or your coffee cup, whatever you've bought. Send me a picture of you with your merchandise. I would love to share it on YouTube for the people who contributed and helped to do this series. I would love to post a picture of you wearing or using our merchandise. I think that would be so super fun. So if you have already purchased anything with the In Her Boots logo on it, or you do purchase anything with the In Her Boots logo on it, so just shoot me an email at justdigitfarms@gmail.com with a picture of you wearing or using our merchandise and your name, and I would love to be able to include you in our In Her Boots videos. Thank you guys so much for all of your love and support. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and I'll see y'all on the next video.